Darkness fell over the small town of Grimmswood like a heavy, ominous shroud. The moon did not shine that night, and the stars seemed to have gone out, leaving only an inky blackness. The wind battered against the old houses, seeping through cracks and causing eerie moans and whispers. At that moment, it became clear the night would not bring peace. Garrett, a young man in his 30s, had just moved to Grimmswood from the big city. He was drawn to this quiet, forgotten corner, hoping to escape the bustle and find tranquility. The house he bought was old but cozy, with a beautiful view of the dense forest encircling the town like a dark veil. The first night passed peacefully, worn out from the long day of moving. But the second night brought something different. Awaking in the middle of the night with the sensation of being watched, he looked around, seeing nothing but darkness. His heart raced as he caught a faint whisper, barely audible but relentless, as if someone or something was whispering right behind him. Trying to convince himself it was just his imagination, Garrett lay back down. But sleep eluded him. The whisper grew louder and clearer, turning into an indistinguishable, threatening flow of words. It came not from the room, but from the darkness itself, as if something lurking in the night was trying to breach his consciousness. On the third night, Garrett heard footsteps. They were quiet, barely perceptible but confident. It seemed they were getting closer, though they were coming from outside, behind the door. Garrett grabbed a flashlight and headed towards the door. The footsteps stopped as he approached. He pressed his ear to the cold wooden door, trying to catch any sound, but heard nothing. Opening the door, he stepped outside into the cold, dark night air. Shining the flashlight around, Garrett saw nothing, only the dark forest on the horizon. He returned inside, locking the door behind him, but from that moment on, he felt an ever-present sense that something was watching him from the shadows. The wind outside grew harsher, as if it was speaking his name. On the fourth night, Garrett decided not to sleep. He closed all the windows and locked the doors, leaving lights on in every room. Night fell, but the silence brought no comfort. At one point, the lights in the living room flickered, and then went out. Panic gripped Garrett, but he forced himself to stay calm. He took a flashlight and tried to turn on the lights, but nothing happened. Suddenly, a shadow flickered in the corner of the room. It was darker than darkness itself, moving and distorting the space around it. Garrett froze, feeling a cold chill gripping his bones. The shadow moved towards him slowly but relentlessly. As it approached, he heard that same whisper, now clearer. It was not a whisper of a single voice, but a multi-voiced chorus merging into one, condemning him to doom. The shadow seemed to absorb all the light in the room, stretching out its cold, black tendrils towards Garrett. He felt as if his very soul was freezing in horror before the unknown. Darkness enveloped him completely, and in that moment, he realized that his mind was forever lost in this abyss. Since then, no one has seen Garrett. The house stood empty, but people in the town began to hear whispers when they walked by. They didn't know what had happened, but couldn't shake the feeling that something ancient and evil lurked within the walls of the house, waiting for its next victim. And at night, when the wind howled especially eerily, it seemed that Garrett was trying to break through the barrier between worlds to warn others. But it was already too late.